In Parshas Vaera, Moshe comes in front of Paroh and makes a request. He says to Paroh, let the Jews go for 3 days. For 3 days, let us go in the desert and let us worship a God. Let us worship Hashem there. Paroh, of course, answers no, but our question is really on Moshe's question. It seems that Moshe's question might be just a little bit misleading. After all, didn't Moshe really want for the Jewish people to be let out of Mitzrayim completely? Wasn't his true request inside or in his mindset that Paroh let the Jewish people, Bnei Israel, completely go? Why would he ask for 3 days, let the Jewish people go for 3 days, as opposed to just saying, let all Bnei Israel go? After 3 days, Moshe was going to just keep them running anyway. He wasn't really intending to bring them back. So how is it that Moshe Rabbeinu, the shaliach, the messenger of Hashem to speak to Paroh, could really mislead Paroh, or did he? So the Ramah of Moshe Isilish responds as follows. Paroh, if requested to just let the Jewish people, all of them, go, would be able to have an excuse as to why he didn't do so. And perhaps he would respond to Moshe and say, Moshe, what kind of a request did you make of me? Do you really want to put the Egyptian economy in a debilitating state? How could I, as a responsible leader, do that? Imagine 600,000 of my workers, all the factories that I have, all the bricks that I'm making, let them all go at once, nobody left to work? What would happen? The economy would fall to shambles. What kind of a king am I? What kind of a leader am I if I don't care for the economy and I don't care for the people? So Paroh would have an excuse. He'd be able to say to Moshe, to Hashem, it's not fair that you're bringing these plagues upon me because I didn't have a choice. I was just being a responsible leader. Leave the Jewish people and the fact that they're slaves out of it. This is really a business deal. And so the response of Moshe Rabbeinu, based on what Hashem told him, is derech shloshes yamim, just 3 days. Now why did Hashem tell him to say 3 days? Because Hashem knew that even for just 3 days, Paroh would never let the Jewish people go. Yeah, he would make excuses that he wouldn't let the people go forever. But what about for 3 days? Okay, it would make an impact on the Egyptian economy. But 3 days? How much of an impact? It wasn't as if they were gone forever. People closed their factories all the time for a couple of days. But even that, Paroh refused to do, and Hashem understood how vicious and how stubborn and how terrible Paroh was to the Jewish people, and that he would never let us go for 3 days or forever. So he tells Moshe, say 3 days, because you'll see he won't even do that. And then he won't have an excuse when the makos are brought, when the plagues are brought upon him. You know, we could talk about how many times in life we decide to make excuses. We look for excuses as to why we don't accomplish, why we don't succeed when we can. Albeit there are certain times, there are certain moments in life, there are certain visions, certain goals that we set for ourselves that really are not realistic, that are out of our reach. And the lesson here is for us practically to make sure that we make goals for ourselves in which we can't have excuses for. Not goals that are far beyond our reach, and therefore after the fact, when we look at ourselves and we say we didn't accomplish, we knock ourselves down and say, look, I can't accomplish anything. But goals that are realistic, that are within our reach, that we can reach and be successful at and feel a sense of accomplishment. Then we'll be able to make our goals even bigger and reach higher and higher as we are able to succeed in all of our endeavors. That's the lesson that we take from Paroh's obstinance, from his stubbornness, and the fact that he wouldn't even do just a little bit. That Hashem already knew. For us, Hashem wants us to have realistic goals, goals that we could aspire to and attain, and then another goal that we can keep on creating so that we accomplish each and every day. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.